Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Today I'm joined by my friend Andrew Thompson, otherwise known as SchmandrewART. He is a fantastic artist who I've known for a good few years and have been supporting and really rooting for his stuff. And recently he's become an actual official magic artist. And by recently I mean like a year now.
Uh, yeah, a little under that, just because the first cards came out in Duskmorn,
It's a
so
little under a
it's
year.
just been since like September.
It feels like a
But
year.
I've definitely been sitting on having the stuff done for about a year now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but
from
yeah,
now,
thanks for
from
having me.
September till now, it feels like forever.
I know, right? It actually no, it's been years. It's been several years from September to now.
Yeah, all hell's
Yeah,
breaking loose.
yeah.
But anyway, introduce us. Tell us about yourself. What your pronouns? What you sort of
Yeah.
do?
Yeah, so my name is Andrew, or SchmandrewART online, and like you said, I am a recent magic artist, but I also make my own artwork. I always say that my art, I always call it fantasy pop art. It's a mix of both this, fantasy genre, but pop art sensibilities, so bright colors, graphic shapes, dynamic compositions, sometimes typography, and yeah, I love bright colors. I love storytelling. I make a lot of very emotional artwork, and I myself play Magic and am a big fan. And you and I actually first met when me and my buddy Luis started a
Yeah,
short-lived little Commander stream in 2020 and 2021 called Creatives Commander Night. That was supposed to be all like artists or people within the community who were like creative in some way, shape, or form.
I think we played
Um,
with Ben. Was it Ben or someone else we
yeah.
played
Oh
with?
yeah. Bento Box. Yeah, Ben.
I
Who
retired
has
that name.
got.
That name's gone.
Yeah, yeah. I know Ben got what was it? That one secret layer.
Yeah, the vaporwave one, or
The
shades not included.
vaporwave.
They can't call it
What?
vaporwave. They call it shades not included.
Ah, that one. Okay. But yeah, so Ben and you were on the first episode, and I still remember it.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Um,
That was
yeah,
definitely years ago. That feels like forever.
that was it was 20, like I said, 2020 or 2021. I forget when it was, because I think we started it towards the end of one year and then into the beginning of the next. And I remember Strixhaven also came out like while we were doing it. And the only reason I remember that is because I changed our Twitter to say Prismari College of Art and Design.
Uh,
Um, and then I don't think I ever changed it from that because I was like, I'm funny.
yeah. I've gone through a handful of different Twitter names, and I've stopped using Twitter for the most part, other than just check on some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Blue.
But yeah, what are you working on today?
Uh, so I am working on a alter proof of concept, and then I'll be working on either a sketch for one piece of artwork I'm doing for a friend, or a little clay figure I'm working on for another piece of artwork.
Oh nice.
But I needed to
That's
get
cool.
this done first because the money from this I am going to use hopefully for interacting with a friend of mine tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really give a shit about
Nice.
them. Let me make sure that I can hear our audio, and our video is showing on OBS. So
Okay.
whatever. I
I
guess you're
know
just
on Twitch
fine.
I just went back and reloaded the your stream and hit play. Um and it's still giving me the little spinny wheel in the center.
Weird.
Yeah. But I don't know if that's just me.
I can hear the audio.
Oh, there's
It's a.
that. Oh, there I am.
Yeah, it only pops
Okay,
up.
I think it's working now.
There, we're just behind.
Cool.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why my computer was taking a minute to load that because, like I said, I did a speed test. Everything
My
was good.
internet's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great.
Mm.
but I need to draw Bob from Twin Peaks.
Oh, nice.
I have not seen Twin Peaks in forever.
Yeah. I have never actually seen Twin Peaks.
I watched it in high school because
Mm-hmm.
I had a flash drive with pirated episodes of it. I don't do that stuff anymore, just for legal reasons. But
Yeah.
I had uh, a flash drive with all the Twin Peaks on it,
Okay.
and I watched it on the bus ride and in school during some classes. It was Twin Peaks, Cowboy Bebop, and
Ooh. Oh, hell yeah.
one other one.
Nice.
Oh, various movies. I ran a piracy ring in high school where I had a bunch of movies and games. Again, for legal
Mm-hmm.
reasons, I don't do that anymore. It's been like a decade since I've done that. Just
Yeah. Oh, come
the statute of
on. Oh,
limitations is probably up.
yeah.
Probably, hopefully.
Probably.
Anyway, um, so I watched Twin Peaks, but like I didn't absorb any of it.
Yeah.
And um, Cowboy Bebop, I really absorbed like the first a little bit more than half of it,
Mm-hmm.
and really enjoyed it. And I've been rewatching it with my dad, who was willing to give it a shot.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
So we watched an episode today.
Nice.
I
It's
went over,
been.
you know,
I was just gonna say it's been a minute since I've watched Cowboy Bebop, but it was always so good.
yeah, there's a few filler episodes, but it's pretty solid still.
Oh yeah. Also, just a heads up, if you hear a weird noise, I have one of those automatic erasers that makes like a noise.
Interesting. After moving out of my ex's apartment, I don't have any weird noises. I used to have a cat, and that cat would just hop on my lap and do various things.
Oh, nice. There's a cat floating around here somewhere, but she usually leaves me alone. Doesn't
Ah,
hang out with me much.
that's a bummer.
I mean, it makes sense. It's my partner's cat, and uh, the cat is used to living, alone with her for like 8 or 9 years.
Uh huh.
So the cat is not a huge fan of me, except for the cat does know that I will play with it. But if I'm actively doing something, the cat will not come to me. But if I'm just talking and like out in the hallway or something, then the cat will come up and sit near a little ribbon toy and meow at me until I play with it. So let's see. This person got a black, white, and a funky color commission.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's how I tend to do it. Is like I have just two levels because I don't really like doing pencil sketches, so I don't do a pencil sketch. I do a black, white, one color, and then I do a full color
Oh, cool.
option. Yeah. So then they can pick like what color they want, or they can pick, um, what colors they would kind of like me to focus on if they do a full color. And then I also have a list of like things that I will do and things that I won't do.
Ah,
And if it's something not on the list that I'm not like, oh, hell yeah, I'll do that, then I usually charge an additional amount to like pick something else.
got it. I have to draw a face, which I'm not great at doing, to make the face
Mm,
look good, which I'm also not great at
yeah.
doing. But if I can pencil sketch it out decently, I can.
Yeah.
I'm more likely able to do it on paper. I mean, on like the
Hmm.
actual card, if I can get the pencil sketch down.
Yeah. Usually when I've started doing this especially for artist proofs just because like I don't like going in blind and not knowing what I'm doing. And so I've actually just started to sketch out my artist proofs on um on my iPad.
Uh-huh.
And then I just, once I get them to a point where I'm like, okay, that's pretty figured out, like, then I'll go into then I'll go and actually start doing it actually on the card.
Neat.
Yeah, because then it's like, okay, it feels a little more. I feel like I can have more fun with the actual sketch part of it, and I'm not so like concerned about like, oh, I can't fuck up. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it lets me kind of experiment a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice, so I don't have to worry about fucking up the artist proof to the point where I had to like start over, get a different artist proof out because I messed this one up.
That'd be my paranoia if I ever did artwork for Magic, is like messing up artist proofs, because like people really love those, and like they're a whole like collectible market thing.
Yeah,
And like,
yeah, that is part of the reason why I do it this way because I'm just like I know this is expensive for somebody to get. I don't want to mess it up.
yeah.
But the nice thing too is even though I've had a couple artist proofs where I have had like little mistakes where I've been like, holy shit, like the paint marker decides to bleed a lot more than it normally does, or something like that. I'm always just like, God damn it. And then thankfully, I've been able to fix any of those issues relatively easily.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always this like fear of like, oh no, what happens? What happens if I can't fix it? It's like, well, thankfully, I have plenty of artist proofs right now that I could just replace theirs with a new one. But it won't always be that way.
Yeah. So how many artist proofs do you usually get?
So every time you do a card, I think they send anywhere from 50 to 80. Those are the numbers I've heard from other artists. Um, and I think it all depends on the cards and whatnot. But they usually you get um, foil and non-foil.
Okay.
And then for my cards specifically, I always tell people this because the stuff that I've done has been alternate art work for Duskmorn and for Aether Drift. So for those, I always tell people that since they are so specific to those sets, that those artist proofs are going to be very unlikely to ever be reprinted again in that exact frame
Mm-hmm.
with that treatment. So it's really these are super limited. Like there's other artists who do main set stuff who like their cards might get reprinted in a future like core set or something like that or commander product, and their art will get reprinted and they'll get more proofs. But for me, because my stuff is so specific to Duskmorn and um, Aether Drift, it's probably not going to ever get reprinted just like it currently is.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people that if they're thinking about an artist proof, like for me specifically, it's the cheapest that they're going to be able to get the artist proof right now. Because as I sell more of them, they'll go up.
Yeah.
So, so yeah, artist proofs they're fun to do. I wasn't sure how I would feel about drawing on them and doing little pieces on them, but the more I've done, the more I'm like, oh, okay, like I actually really enjoy it.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
God damn it. I hate drawing accurate faces. I'm better at cartoon faces. This face can be like a little bit cartoonish. It's from Twin Peaks,
Mm-hmm.
after all. Twin Peaks itself is practically a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. It has vibes though.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to draw Bob here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that face is also like the expression he's making is pretty difficult. I feel like to do.
Yeah. I have the mouth mostly done because I can Um, I can stylize the mouth a little bit. It's just these eyes are challenging.
Yeah.
But I've recently reconnected with my ex, and I'm helping them with a bucket list of things they want to do before they move back to their hometown.
Yeah.
And one of those things is to do a Hunger Games marathon,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
which sounds fun.
Yeah.
Just I don't have the Hunger Games movies, but I
Probably
can
sure
rent.
they're on a streaming service somewhere.
I can rent them cheap. They're not on any streaming service.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Huh. That feels like a missed opportunity by somebody. Or they plan on doing like some kind of like reboot or something, because then that would make sense.
As far as I know, there's no reboot of the Hunger Games in the works.
Okay.
Not like Harry Potter.
I drew the head of this robot too big. Now there's the question of, do I just keep it as is, or do I erase it and do the whole thing over again? I think we'll keep it. Because I do like how it looks, but yeah, we're definitely keeping the robot as is. We're not gonna erase this. It looks too cool.
Hell yeah. I love cool looking robots.
Yeah, I think it's because I'm currently trying to build a Mendicant core deck,
Okay.
and because of that, I've got robots on the mind.
Yeah. I thought about building Mendicant Core, but I had decided against it.
Yeah, my only real reason for building this deck is I'd want to put Broodstar in a deck, and I don't have an artifact deck that runs blue right now. And then I also have a silver mirror, a foil silver mirror from the original Ravnica, or not Ravnica, Mirrodin. Ooh. And I feel like it needs a home because it's just been sitting in a binder for a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, Mendicant Core works, and it's blue white, which is a color combination I've yet to make a deck of.
hmm I've been doing a series where I build random Brawl legal commanders
Mm-hmm.
on Arena,
Mm-hmm.
and I hope I get Mendicant Core one of these days, because, like, that's not something I'd build on my own.
Yeah.
But, like, if it was randomly selected, I'd be
Yeah.
like, alright, I can work with this.
Yeah, exactly. Nice.
The one good thing about Bob here is he's kind of in shadows a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes my job easier because half of my stuff is just black and white.
Yeah. Nice. I always love finding a piece of reference where you're like, oh, for me and my purposes, this will work
Mm-hmm.
perfectly.
His chin's bigger.
Okay, I think it's ready to start using the Sharpie.
So I know you use paint pens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do your special little art signature thing?
Um, so, um, for everybody listening, I sign all of my stuff at cons with art because my initials actually spell art. It's a very nice little coincidence that happened. Thanks, Mom. Um, she always likes to say it was almost rat, but she caught it. Um, so what I tend to do is I've developed the signature that doesn't take a lot of time to do, isn't a lot on my wrist or arm, which can be really important when you're signing like 100 cards a day or 100 things a day at a con. Um, so I tend to use a mix of Sharpie, paint marker. Um, I also really love these new Sharpie markers that are called creative markers.
Okay.
They're basically Sharpies paint markers, but um, love those things. They're really great. Poscas. I've got like 3 or 4 different brands of paint marker that I use, but it all depends on like what signature I'm doing because some of them I have to do like certain layers first. Um, like I have a rainbow signature that I have to put white down first and then do the rainbow color and then go back with a black outline and do like a drop shadow on it.
Mm-hmm.
So do use a ton of paint markers. I know before MagicCon Chicago, I went to Blick and dropped like $130 just on paint markers.
Hmm. No, I've done that before. So my big canvas projects,
Oh yeah.
like you can see one. This is the
Mhm.
playmat version of one of them right here.
Yeah. Nice. Oh, so many characters.
Yeah.
Grothama for some reason was the first one that I was like, when I just like, because I was looking away, and then when I looked back up at the screen, I was like, Grothama.
Yeah. So this is the first canvas project I did. It was all black and white. It was on a 2 feet by 3 feet canvas.
Yeah.
Every character somebody could pay $10, and I'd add their favorite character to this canvas, and it
Nice.
just filled out. And then I auctioned off the original piece, where half of it went to charity and half of it went to me.
Nice.
Then
Now,
I did a second one,
mm-hmm.
which that's the that's the second one for the most part.
Okay, nice. Where are my lands? That's my friend Leonard asking that question.
Yeah, that's Mana Screw. So the theme for this one is people's favorite like scary magic stuff.
uh, I
Cause
would have said coma.
I started it in like near Halloween,
Oh, nice.
and it took me like a year or so to actually make it
Mm-hmm.
because like people just weren't interested, and then I had a bunch of live stuff come up, and I just couldn't get a whole lot of traction.
Yeah.
But I did get it finished, and I did get it auctioned off, and
Nice.
again, half went to me, half went to mental health,
That's good. Oh yeah.
and I'm working on a new one that's in color.
Ooh,
But
talking my language now.
yeah, these were done with just black and white Posca pens on this huge
Mm-hmm.
canvas. So like, I think I went through like 6 or 7 so pens per
Yeah.
canvas.
Yeah, I imagine, especially doing something that big with the Poscas.
Yeah.
I'm always so paranoid, especially ahead of like a Magic Con, that my Poscas are gonna die on me or my other paint markers are gonna die on me. So before Chicago, like I said, I went and bought a bunch of markers. I didn't use like half of the ones I bought, or more than half, because I was like, oh, most of those I bought because I was like, but what if those markers die on me?
Mhm.
But thankfully that didn't happen. But now I'm pretty stocked for a while. Good. Gonna ask a question about your Canvas project. And that question was, oh, I remember. Um, on each one of those, which was the most difficult character or thing to draw?
So
Like what gave you the most trouble?
for the first one, that's hard because like some are harder than others and some are easier than others, but like some of the easier ones are more decepting.
Yeah.
Because like each one gets like 10 to 20 minutes. I don't spend too long on them because like they're meant to be kind of simple and cartoonish.
Mm-hmm.
Probably Adeline up here in this top corner or in this middle top.
Mm, yeah.
She took a little bit, and I traded her for Baldur's Gate 3, which is a weird thing.
Nice.
I offered like a commission, like if you're playing Baldur's Gate 3, if you're willing to buy me the game, I will
Mm-hmm.
draw your character from the game as a commission.
Yeah.
And I talked to somebody who had a key of the game, and they said, well, I can't think of a character to play because I'm not really into Baldur's Gate, but if you want to add something to the canvas, I'll just give you the game. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Positive. Okay.
Nice.
So Adeline was a little bit tricky. Karn right there was a little bit challenging.
Yeah.
Uh, there's one of the angels right there is a little bit challenging. I've had to redraw that angel for the current canvas project.
Okay.
But like the artwork is like I think it's one of the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh. Yeah. Nice. Because I know, like, it's always funny to me, like, sometimes depending on what an artist is working on, like, something that they won't expect will be, like, tricky to them.
Yeah.
Like, a couple years ago, I got hired to do um, an official Mass Effect poster.
Oh, that's cool.
And yeah, it was really fun. And, like, I knew when they came to me, I was like, oh shit, Mass Effect has, like, a big fan base and, like, very um, passionate fans. So I was like, okay, we got to do it justice. And um, I got into like researching the characters and looking at the designs, and I was like, oh, Garrus is dope as hell. Like, I'm gonna love drawing Garrus. Garrus was the most difficult fucking character to draw. He's so complicated. Uh,
So this is the artwork
like,
for Sigarda, Host of Herons. If it
mm, yeah, that one.
and trying to do that in black and white was a little bit challenging. She's right there.
Yeah,
But trying to do that in color is even more of a hassle because it kind of doesn't have any color other than white for the wings and like yellowish for the face.
yeah,
So I kind of just drew it in black and white on the current canvas and just like did some little white accents
yeah.
because the person didn't ask for it to be painted in color; they just asked for it. They paid me
Okay.
$20 to draw Avacyn and Sigarda. My prices is
Yeah,
$20 for color, 10 for black and white.
yeah.
If they say they wanted it in color, I
Mm-hmm.
will be like, I'm sorry, you paid me $20. And asked for these two characters. I figured you meant 10 for each.
Mm-hmm.
I can draw you another character, but
Yeah,
not those two. Those two have already been drawn. Like they're on there, they're not being on there again.
yeah.
So we'll see how that turns out once I actually promote it. because I'm behind. And then on the second canvas, clay sculpture. Probably the hardest to draw was I like right there, which is the Commander Masters version of Machias.
Oh, okay.
I did that for my friend Eliana.
Is that the black or white Machias?
It's the black Machias.
Nice.
Then a lot of the stuff in the center was a little bit hard to do just because I was trying to go with like a spiral pattern, kind of make it similar to Junji Ito. And the stuff in the center, on the main canvas it pops up a little bit better. On this, it barely pops up at all.
Okay.
So like this whole center is just kind of a mess.
And that was the first one you did?
This is the second one.
Second one you did.
Yeah. The first one I think turned out a little bit better. Both like production wise and quality wise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm following themes from the first one on the current one.
Okay.
What's the other hard one? Oh, I have 6 Shadowborn Apostles hidden in the artwork.
Nice. That's a fun one.
Chains of Mephistopheles is a little bit challenging. That's right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. There was one time I got asked to do a drawing of, like, an older piece of art. It was, like, All Hallows Eve or whatever.
Yeah.
And anytime I look at those real magic pieces, I'm like, oh, man, like, this game has come so far.
Yeah.
It cracks me up every time because it's just like, oh, like you see some of those pieces, you're just like, damn. Like,
All Hallows Eve is right there on my canvas. You can see the little pumpkin.
oh, yeah, the little pumpkin. Hell yeah. I did, yeah, it was an artist proof for this guy named Norm, who's real cool.
Yeah.
And he was just like, it's one of my favorite cards from back in the day because he used to play a ton of Magic and then had to get out of it. It's like, hell yeah, Norm, I'll do that. Like,
but no, they're not terribly hard. Some are harder than others, but like, when I look at them in retrospect, like, they were fairly easy to do.
Yeah.
Which is the design point of them.
Mm-hmm.
The color one has been a lot harder because I'm not used to working in color a whole lot.
Yeah.
And
that's fair. Color can be tricky if you're not doing it all the time.
Yeah. And also, I only have so many Posca pens, and the Posca pens for the size I use don't come in a whole lot of great colors.
Yeah.
So, I'm doing what I can. It's still a challenge. I'll pull up the most recent progress picture that I have on my phone. That's what the current canvas looks like. At least picture.
Okay. Nice.
So both Feldegriffs are fairly challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's one Feldegriff there and one Feldegriff in the corner.
Okay.
And then Loot was fairly challenging to do. And then Baleful Strix was a pain.
Yeah. I believe Loot, because, like, God, that little fuck's mouth is so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, every time I see him, I'm like, if I like it, it always depends on if his mouth is closed or open.
Yeah.
Like if they illustrated him like his first appearance, I'm like, nope. Nightmare Fuel, hate his mouth. Please don't. Like,
I got Bob drawn. He's the best I can do him, so I'm gonna do a little. Do a little color thing. Have the point be right there.
At some point, I'll send you a picture on Discord so you can pull this up and show it on your end. Or actually, it's not on a screen, so I can actually just hold it up here.
Oh, that's cool. Let me change the focus. Whoops. Wow, that was really freaking cool.
Thanks. I did sketch it out, like I said, on my iPad last night, so it's a little bit of taking out the hard part of getting everything and planning it all, and now we're just kind of replicating that sketch. And then usually what I do is I'll do like the sketch in just black Sharpie, and then I go back over the whole thing with a Posca marker to get the kind of like lay down the color. And then once I do that, then I go back and bring out like the darkest darks of the piece with the Sharpie again.
Yeah.
Don't really love that. Later.
So there's Bob.
It's Bob.
Just a proof
Hi,
of concept.
Bob. Nice. Bob's looking good.
Thank you.
No problem.
I take a picture of that, send it to the person who's commissioning me. Da, 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 da.
Oh, man, it's already 2:30.
Yeah. Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
Hopefully my phone will let me upload these 2 pictures, because I want to get paid. But no, I have been getting a little bit better with color. At least trying to. Because whilst I love doing my black and white stuff, and I feel my black and white stuff is like really cool, I know people like color more. And it's more visually appealing for the most part. Still there? Oh, sorry, my Discord bugged out for a minute.
Oh no, you're good.
I
was worried to drop the call or something.
No, it bugged out. But so my painted quiver cases, those have been in color, other than my personal one.
So you said something about black and white stuff.
Oh, it did cut out. Okay, I was saying my black and white stuff. I like doing it. I think I'm pretty good at it. Not great, but pretty good. And I know it won't get as much attention as color stuff. So I've been trying to get better at doing color. It's just challenging. But the painted cases I've been doing are in color. Oh, my computer's frozen. No bother.
Finish audience.
Uh. Oh boy, this
Break
isn't
out
good.
the paint marker.
My whole setup's bugging out.
Oh. Um.
Alright, bummer. Let's see if I
Real
can.
quick, I'm gonna go back.
I'm trying to do some computer stuff right now because it's bugging out. Oh bother. Alright, so it says we're still on. It says we're still recording. Alright, so that's all good. Dropped a whole lot of frames. We're way behind. But at least we're still functioning. Looks like you're live, just out of the picture. Looks like it's just bugging out for me. Alright, cool. Sorry, everyone watching. It's just a little bit buggy. One of those days where everything sucks. Everything's fucked. Just want to justify it, cutting somebody's head off. think you're muted.
I am. Thank you.
I'm just talking to myself and
Okay.
talking to the general viewer because it was lagging hard on my
Yeah.
end.
Well, I was just talking to myself too, so.
Yeah.
Wait, do I have that pink marker? Did I throw that out? Hmm. I might have to go grab another pack of markers.
Oh no.
Yeah. But
All
hey, that's why I bought them, right?
all my markers are like right behind me, so I can just like rotate in my chair and grab them.
Yeah. Usually I don't work on artist proofs up in my studio because I have this little thing that I use to like prop up and so I'm not like crouched over too much. And then I put the artist proof on this sketchbook and I made this like little tape window that the artist proofs can sit in. And it's like the exact size of the card. And so that works pretty well. And I usually just work on these downstairs, like sometimes like while we're just watching TV
Yeah.
at the end of the day. But I also have not touched my markers since Chicago.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, so like they're a little unorganized because on Sunday of Chicago I just kind of threw everything into this like tote bag that's behind me. Because I was just like, we gotta get out of here. We got dinner plans to make. Because everybody,
Mm-hmm.
the friends I was getting dinner with um, had already gone to the restaurant at like, you know, I think their reservation was at like 6:30, and the con closed at 6, and then we had to tear down, and so like I think we got back to the hotel and had everything back at the hotel room by like 7:30, and
Oh wow.
got to the restaurant a little bit after that.
I want to get to the point where I can go to cons more often, but for me,
Yeah.
the hard part is I can't drive,
Mm,
and it's hard for me to maintain a
true.
job, and my artwork doesn't pay enough usually to maintain that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's definitely tough to. Cons are expensive to attend for sure.
I was able to go to
That's like,
CubeCon solely because I got lucky that someone in my general area was going and wanted to
oh,
go.
nice.
And I offered to help pay for like gas and the hotel.
Yeah.
And then at on the way to CubeCon, I messaged people saying like, "Hey, I ran out of stuff. My phone's about to go off. I'll do
Yeah.
like flash commissions. Just I'll do anything.
Hmm.
Just let me know, and it'll be
Yeah.
done. Just once I get back from CubeCon." And that worked out for a degree, and made like $300 on the way there.
Nice.
And then whilst there, I talked to another client about a secret project she wanted done, and
Ooh, cool.
I pencil sketched that on an index card I had, and she really liked the pencil sketch.
Mm,
And I did the final artwork, and I did the final artwork once I got back,
yeah.
and she was satisfied. Though the playmat of it that she colored, like I did the black and white and the digital art, the digitizing of it.
Hmm.
She did the coloring as a special gift to her partner.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
And uh, they live in Canada, and my playmat people have had a lot of shipping difficulties.
Mm.
This is the artwork I did for them.
Oh, cool. Into the north. Mulcher the drive. That's fun. Nice.
That was supposed to be like a Mario Kart sort of scene.
Yeah.
Once I have the money, I'm gonna get a frame for this and send it to them and have them be like an office piece.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I bet they'll love that. Oh, I can tell this pink marker is like at the end of its life.
Yeah, that sucks.
It'll work for this at least.
Is pink your
Probably.
funky color you're using?
Yeah, for this one. It's funny when they ask for like a funky color come from me because I'm like, funky color to me is like muted tone.
Yeah.
Like funky color for you, yeah, probably pink. But yeah, so usually I do kind of like a little wash of the color like this, and then I'll go back in and use some white Poscas to better define some of the white lines and the different shapes, and then use like a black Posca or a Sharpie to go back in and uh, like darken up some of the dark areas.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll probably have this done in the next like hour and a half, but
Yeah. I'm debating whether or not I want to work on one artwork or
mm,
the clay figure I've been doing for another one.
the what's the if you like do you know what the design of the clay figure is going to be
It
or
is
no?
Horn of Greed. I have most of the figure built already. I just need to detail it. It
Yeah.
is right here.
Okay. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Looks
So
like
like,
horn agreed to me. Horn
yeah,
agreed.
there's the horn. This little stand it's on with just like legs.
Yeah. Nice.
Has little toes. Has a skirt.
Hell yeah.
But I'm gonna take a picture of it, digitize it, and probably color it digitally,
Mhm.
and then make a proxy of it. The
Yeah.
person's paying for the artwork and the digital version of it, but the
Yeah.
proxy, I said I make as a thanks. They're
Yeah,
not
that's
paying for
cool.
the proxy. I don't buy. I don't sell proxies. Don't ask. That sort of thing for people watching.
Yeah.
But if somebody has a uniquely cool art idea
Mhm.
and like they're like, "Hey, make it inspired by this card,"
Mhm.
sometimes, not always, I'll make a thing based on that card if I don't think that will cause any ripples and potential things.
Yeah. It just seems like a pretty safe bet.
I follow WotC's rules. I make the files available for everybody. I don't
Yeah.
do anything offensive. I don't do anything rude.
Yeah.
I follow the rules.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
So,
that was something before I got hired to do official stuff that I was like, okay, we're never gonna do like I do have altar sleeves made on
uh,
their site, but I was like my rule of thumb because I had a few people asking if they could commission specific like cards as altar sleeves, and my one rule was I don't do legendary creatures
uh,
because I was like all the artwork that I have up on Alter Sleeves is all just my own artwork, and then it's just very kind of, I didn't make them into any legendary creatures or anything like that. It's all like, oh, this is Cultivate or this is Swords to Plowshares,
yeah.
and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to hurt my chances. So I definitely
I
understand
I think
wanting to
I've done a
play it
few
safe.
legendary creatures, but none that are like backbreaking. I've done Urza,
Yeah,
but like my Urza is fairly like basic.
yeah. And this is also not based on any knowledge of the legal system. This is just me being like, well, I'm afraid and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I did learn from Rope Arrow to not do cards you'd want to do for a secret lair,
Mm, yeah.
and to only really do reserve list cards because like reserve list cards they can't reprint. So if you print them out, like they kind of don't give a shit.
Oh, okay.
From
That's
what
cool to
Rope
know.
Arrow understands, and Rope Arrow did a secret lair, only knows so
Yeah.
much. You only know so much. You both can only say so much. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, but Rope Arrow's like when I did it, I tried to only make reserve list cards or stuff where
Mm,
like I could see myself not being able to do them for XYZ reason.
yeah. That makes sense.
Which is hard for me because I've done like hundreds of proxies over the years.
Yeah.
Mostly following the rules. When I first started off, it was a little bit harder because like I just didn't know.
Yeah. I feel like that's fair, and like everybody makes those mistakes. I feel like when they first start off.
Yeah. But let me see how many legendary creatures I made because I'm kind of curious now.
Nice.
Go to here. But I've also like gone away from making proxies overall, other than with a handful of things.
Yeah.
Uh, Done Alesha, but
Ooh, nice.
my Alesha
I love
turned out really
Melissa.
good. I quite like that one. I've done Atraxa. The Atraxa turned out pretty good.
Nice. I've got an Alesha deck I love.
Yeah,
I made a Alesha who smiles at slivers deck.
interesting.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to play slivers because I've always loved the design of them, but I was like, I also don't want to make a 5-color sliver deck because we all know that that's not fun. Uh, so I just decided I was like, okay, what can I do and still get that like still scratch that itch of being able to play slivers.
Yeah, I've done the
And
Mimeoplasm.
nice.
I've done Yawgmoth.
Noise.
Uh,
Also a fun one.
Done Elishnorn, but the Elishnorn turned out really good.
Hell yeah.
Done Emrakul, but the Emrakul I could legally probably say is parody,
Hmm.
just because it's a robot cosplaying as Emrakul.
Oh, cool. That's gotta be fun. Kind of like a Doc Ock situation in terms of like tentacles.
Uh, Kinda. It's more based off of Amiria, the Zendikarian
Mm,
angel.
okay. Hell yeah.
It's a robot cosplaying as Amiria.
Okay. Well, that's cool. I like that. It's a neat idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I've done the Gitrog monster, and the Gitrog is one I'm pretty proud of.
Mm, I feel
Done.
like I remember the Get Rock. I feel like I've seen that one.
You probably have. It's pretty cool.
I feel like that one was one
I can
back
send you
in.
it. Give me a second.
Yeah. I know you have got that one salty one or whatever.
Yeah, my
That one
Salt
play mat.
playmat.
That one's a fun one.
I think that one will outlive me.
It's always funny what like as an artist, like what things end up being like, oh, I didn't okay. Like you're like, I didn't think that was gonna be popular. And then that thing ends up being like super popular.
Yeah, I knew it would be moderately popular. It's just one of those things where, like, when you know you have a hit, you know you have a hit.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it would be as popular as it's gotten.
Yeah.
I've done Golos. I've done Grenzo.
Oh, rip Golos.
Yeah, my Golos is an artwork of Golos dabbing, so, like, I'm not too worried about it.
That's fun.
It's also in color.
Oh, cool.
Uh, I've
Did you do it in
done
all 5 colors?
yeah,
Oh, cool.
I've done Jalira. Uh, done Kraken Sakashima, but like, there's already a
Hmm.
Kraken Sakashima Secret Lair, so I don't feel too bad about that one.
Yeah.
I've done Cranko. My Cranko turned out really cool.
The tap, make a bunch of goblins,
Yeah,
Cranko.
Mob Boss, yeah.
Nice.
I've done Marisol, but Marisol didn't turn out great. I've done
Ooh.
Queen Marchesa, but she didn't turn out great.
Yeah.
I've done Kiki
Nice
Jiki with a
little.
friend of mine, and
Yeah.
that one's meant to be kind of silly.
Hmm.
Done Paradox Engine. Paradox Engine is one I'm pretty
Oh
proud
gosh.
of.
Yeah. Funny. I've been listening to. I was just catching up on episodes of Shivam and Wheeler Love Magic,
Uh,
and they were just talking about Paradox Engine, and I was like, oh god, that card. Like, I remember when it was legal, and I had friends who played it. Just not fun to play against.
I have an NFT styled Ragavan.
Oh, nice. Oh, did you make it like one of those fucking the monkeys?
Yes, yes, I did.
Oh yeah.
And it's hand drawn.
As soon as you said that, I was like, "Ooh, I bet I know what."
I've done Tana the
That's awesome.
Bloodweaver, and the Tana turned out really cool.
Yeah, nice.
Uh,
I just did my first pass of white on the robot,
oh,
and
nice.
we've got that going on.
Did
So picking
Urza,
out some of the details there.
Ulamog, and Zada. My Zada turned out really good.
Oh, cool.
So, like, on one hand, I can never do magic artwork of these, but, like, I kind of don't feel too bad because these turned out all pretty sick.
Yeah.
I sent you some of them. Or I'm sending you some of
Okay.
them.
I was like, oh, I bet he's sending me these, and so I went to pull it up, and I was like, how do I do that again in Discord? And then just remembered.
Yeah.
Um,
Eventually they'll send. They're not that big.
yeah.
I'm not showing them off on camera because I don't like showing my proxies off on camera because, like, I'll talk about them.
Yeah.
And, like, the reserve list ones I'm more inclined to show because they're reserve list.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
if I go for a new perspectives grant and I point to this show and my Brawl show,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be doing anything where it'd be like, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I've done these, I've shown them off, there's no taking it back.
Yeah.
Might as well live up to it a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope one day you get one of those
Yes.
those grants.
Yeah, so do
I
I.
know a lot of people go to Magic Cons and stuff on those.
Hopefully I'll
One of
do...
my favorite things at Magic Cons is to walk through the creator section and chat with people.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I when I do take a break or when my assistants force me to go take a break, that's always one of my favorite areas to walk around in.
Yeah. You got them.
Okay. Oh hell yeah! I like the Ragavan. That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah! Oh, the Get Rog in the shadow. That's good. Emrakul is fun. Ooh, the Alesha's nice.
Yeah, thank you.
The dabbing
I
golem.
told you that's what it was.
I know it's one of those things where like you said it and I was like I can imagine it and then you show it to me and I'm like yes. Man, the Tana. Oh, the Tana's nice. I like that. A little bit of color in there. The Zada too. Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to have a secret lair, what cards would you have in it?
Ooh, the first see you asked me this question or like kind of threw this question out there before we started,
Yeah.
and I still have only been able to think of one card so far, and I think that one card, and it's purely because it's one of my favorite cards, is Killenmouth Dragon from it's like Scourge or one of those blocks. It has Amplify 3, and it's the original illustration is by Carl Critchlow, and I fucking love it because it's just this big ass spiky dragon, and it's just got a really big, wide, almost a horizontal like shape mouth, and
Yeah.
it's just breathing like lava and fire out of it.
That's really
And
cool.
I would love to do a Killenmouth dragon. Really, any dragon in general, I would love to do, but I would also have fun with anything that I could use like crazy like energy blasts or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I do well with like energy blasts or fire or smoke or something like that.
I said lightning bolt, but lightning bolt's kind of been done to death.
Yeah, lightning bolt's been done a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it would be fun to do, and it'd be a very like cool, iconic card, especially as somebody who plays the game. That would be really fun to get to experience. But beyond that, I'm like, eh.
I could
Not necessarily my first choice.
I could see you doing a grape shot or a Mind's Desire. That'd be cool.
Mine's Desire would be fun, or really anything where I get to draw a bunch of hands.
Your favorite.
Like, yeah, like I do still find it really ironic and funny that my first Magic commission of Meat Hook Massacre 2, there's only one hand in the piece
Yeah.
because the person has like a big old blade arm as
Mm.
their other hand. Um, and then the next piece that I got commissioned to do, Unstoppable Slasher, uh, has no hands because one hand is a saw and the other one is a big ass like blade.
Mhm.
And so the hand to character ratio was definitely skewed uh, away from what I would normally expect for me.
Yeah.
It'd be fun to do like I think it'd be fun to do like a set of like moxes
Okay.
or like or not like I mean obviously they're on the reserve list, but it'd be fun to do like some kind of mox that somebody's holding in their hands and there's all these crazy fun colors, um, like in in the mox or in the artifact. Um, ooh, or the cycle of mirrors. I'd fucking love to do a cycle of mirrors.
I know irate robots would love that.
Yeah, I think I think that person. I think that's who posted not too long ago on Blue Sky, and they were just like, "Oh, like I feel sorry for everybody who like." Or like I could talk about mirrors for like an hour, and I was just like, "You have my attention as somebody who owns a foil set of the original Kev Walker mirrors."
Yeah, irate robots is great. Hen's lovely.
Nice, yeah. It's like I would love to do mirrors, any mirror really, not just those ones, because I just love their little fucking their heads are so funny.
Mhm.
And it's such a fun little like shape. Uh, Zorillin of the Claw would be really cool, but also reserved list.
Why is there Rillin?
It's one of my pet commanders. I've had it. God, I've had that deck since 2015,
Interesting.
and I already loved Zorillin as a card prior to making that deck because I've collected dragons since I like almost started playing Magic in like 2004, 2005.
Huh.
And um, I had a mono red dragon deck for a while when it was me and my buddies all playing like kitchen table Magic.
Uh huh.
And I remember when I first found Zorillin, it was like, oh my god, this card is awesome. Like, this is so cool. I could go tutor for a dragon and put it directly into play.
So that kind of leads me to my one of my other questions is like, what's your favorite card in Magic?
Ooh. Um, I don't know if I have just like one singular favorite card. Let me think what ones I want to highlight.
Or like a handful of
Um,
cards you've always been attracted to?
okay, I can do that. Love, 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 love Darksteel Colossus.
Yeah, a friend of mine have done an artwork of that one.
Um, I absolutely love Mycosynth Golem. Mycosynth Golem. Um, Broodstar was another one I mentioned earlier by Glenn Angus. Um, uh, the Mirrors by Kev Walker. One of my favorite just silly cards that, well, I think is silly is Final Fortune.
Okay.
Um, 2 red, take another turn after this one. At the end of that turn, you lose the game.
It's a CDH card.
Yeah, and I don't play CDH. It's just I put it in a couple decks where I'm like, this deck sometimes just needs like one more turn, and I just think it's also just a funny card because I also had a rule in I had a Yidris deck,
Uh huh.
Cascade thing, and I had one extra turn card, and it was that. And the rule of the deck was if I cascade into Final Fortune, no matter what I have in my hand or on the battlefield, I have to cast it.
Yeah.
That's the rule. And so oftentimes I wouldn't have a win con, and I'd just be like, well, let's see how far I can get in my next turn. And then I would just be like, cool, I'm out. Have fun, guys. Like, I
Huh.
think I've done that a couple times on Chase's stream before because I played that deck a couple times on their stream, and I would like storm off and do all this cascading, and then it would be like, oh look, Final Fortune. I'd be like, yep, let's fucking do it, guys. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Due to some personal reasons, I'm not a huge fan of Chase, but I respect their place in the Magic sphere.
Yeah. Yeah, with any community, there's always little things where sometimes some folks don't get along.
Yep.
Oh, that's not the right pink.
I'm trying to detail this little horn,
Yeah,
so it's hard to see, but I am getting those little details in on the horn piece.
nice. Oh, another card I would love to do. I didn't ever play this card really as a kid, but my buddy played it all the time, and it was like Big Boogeyman.
Oh,
Was plated slagworm.
what does that card do? I don't think I've heard of it.
It is I think a 7 drop for an 8/8 worm, and it basically just has hexproof, or no, it has shroud. Um, but it looks sick as hell. To the point where when I was at STG Portland, I actually saw one at a vendor that had a foil one, and it was like $6. And I was like, hell yeah, I'm picking that up. Like,
Nice.
yeah. So I think like any of those cards would be really fun to do. Um, there's probably a bunch of other cards that I could think of that I would love to do, but probably some dragons just because I collect them. And so
Hmm.
it'd be really cool to be able to add like a card that I illustrated like to my dragon collection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. Thank you for telling me about it.
Yeah, anytime. Happy to.
So, how did you start working on artwork?
Like for magic,
Or just period?
period. So I've always been see little dude. Um, since I was a little kid, I've been really into art. I used to always get, the how to draw blank books, like how to draw dinosaurs and how to draw anime and stuff like that. Um, and with the dinosaur one, when I was like probably 5 or 6, I remember like getting it from the library multiple times and like memorizing how to draw the different dinosaurs. Um, And then eventually, when I started to look at colleges, I was like, yep, pretty sure gonna go to art school. Went to art school here in Columbus, Ohio at CCAD.
I looked at there
Studied
when I
illustration.
was.
Yeah, it's a good school. Well, I haven't been there or been involved with the school for a minute, so I don't know exactly what they're up to right now. But um, when I went, it was like one of the top schools for illustration at the time. Their illustration department was really um, well regarded. And then I taught there for a little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, like, when I moved back to Columbus in 2015, one of my old professors was like, oh, I hear you're in town. Like, I've got a class that you'd be perfect to teach because it's, digital stuff. And that was kind of what I was known for at the time. So I taught for like 5 or 6 years, taught at like the college level illustration.
Nice.
Up until like 2021, I took a step back because freelance was picking up and I had a client that was paying well enough that I didn't want to risk teaching kind of upsetting that client relationship.
Yeah.
So I had to step away from teaching then, but it's always been something I've enjoyed to the point where on my Patreon I have a like mentorship
Hmm.
tier, and so like I've had different mentees over the years that I've worked with, and it's been really fun to help them out because that was like my favorite thing was teaching like seniors and working on like entrepreneurial stuff
Mm.
because at the time I was doing cons and that was a big part of my income. But I started getting into doing magic work in 2021. I met an art director at a con, got their contact information, and then basically I've just kept in touch with them since then. And I would just send them, new artwork when I finish stuff, whether it was for other clients or for myself. And then would just, the one big thing I always tell people when it comes to talking to art directors is like they're super busy. So sometimes you are not going to get a response back, even if your work is great. So, like, don't take it personally if you don't hear anything back from an art director,
Yeah.
because they saw your email, they probably saved it and put it in a file of like potential artists to work with in the future. Um, and so I always tell people like, yeah, just if you have that contact, don't annoy them. Don't do that thing where like you send an email, you don't hear back, so then the next week you're like, hey, just wanted to check in. I always
Yeah.
tell people like the art directors at Magic, if they have a project that you're a good fit for, you'll hear from them.
Yeah.
Um, and you just got to make sure to update them with new work and kind of remind them that you exist periodically, and hopefully that will line up with a project that you're good for, because that's what happened with me was I you know had known this art director for a while and would just send her emails every so often and be like, hey, hope you're doing well, here's some new work, talk to you soon, like would love to work together on something. And then um, I think it was like August of 2023. She emailed me and was like, "Hey, I have the perfect project for you. It's finally happening." And that was what was it? Meat Hook.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a debut card too.
Oh yeah, as a Magic player, that being my first card was like, holy shit, what? Like that was one where I was like, is this a reprint or are they like making like a fair version or what? And then when they, spoiled it, I was like, oh, they just slapped two of them together. Got it. Like, was not expecting that. Because I was like, oh, it would make sense for them to reprint, Meat Hook Massacre in this horror themed set. And so for a while, I was just like kind of hoping it was going to be a reprint. But I mean, I'm still very happy with the card and how
Oh,
it
sure.
turned
It looks
out.
super cool.
Thanks.
I actually
That
want to
one
get
was.
one of them signed for you and just put in my collection, or signed by you and get in my collection.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to.
That and a
I
pacifism.
know what
That and a pacifism.
a pacifism.
That's my favorite card.
Okay, I was like, what? Wait, what? I was like trying to remember games that we played when you were on Creatives Commander Night, and I was like, I wonder if he played a pacifism on stream.
Nope, it's just my favorite card.
Hell yeah.
I have a binder full of them, and
Yeah.
signed ones, altered ones, whole deal.
Oh, that's cool. I love that.
It's incomplete because I'm missing a few printings, but there's Mirage,
Mm-hmm.
there's Tempest, signed one of them, signed by my friend. Interesting MTG art.
Yeah.
There's Urza's Saga, one of which is signed by
Yeah.
the artist. Yeah, that's the artist that signed it.
The art. Yeah.
Some of these signatures, people should have wrote their names in printed their names so I know who the hell signed it, because I can't read some of these signatures.
Yeah.
So I have all these. I have that one signed. I forget by who.
Mm-hmm.
All of that printing. That's a gold border.
Nice.
Just a bunch of regular pacifisms. Just a bunch of regular pacifisms. Just a bunch of regular pacifisms. Dragons of
Mm-hmm.
Tarkir. Great printing of pacifism. More pacifisms.
Oh,
Gavin
nice.
Verhey signed one, which is a battle
Oh,
bond one.
cool. Yeah.
Um, Jordan LeBlond, who's another artist who I hope gets magic
Mm-hmm.
work, signed this one.
Cool.
My friend Wolf, who just does community work, painted a little Buddha statue and gritty of all things
Nice.
on a
I'm glad I
pacifism.
looked up because I didn't realize you got the binder out.
Yeah. This is signed
But
by Magic Michimigo and her
Mhm.
partner Scott and a handful of other
Oh,
people.
I love her. She's
Yeah,
great.
she's great. I made her a quiver a while back.
Oh, cool.
It's a little green cat quiver.
Hell yeah. Yeah, she usually comes by if she's at a con that I'm at, and she'll say hi.
Yeah, she's great. These are all the
Yeah.
foil pacifism. So this foil pacifism is done by Trisk, who does like magic ship posting and lore Lortho stuff.
Oh, nice.
More foil pacifisms.
Hmm.
This is done by my friend Brayden. These two are from Walt again. This is made
Okay.
by Mike from Playing with Power. This is made by uh, GK Art. This is ALK Alters. Did this one.
Gotta love ALK.
Yeah, he's great. These are from two friends of mine in France. My friend Sharp and her partner Cantine. I don't know who signed that
Yeah.
one. That's from Spice 8 Rack. That's from MTG Lexicon. That's from my friend Sierra.
Yeah.
I don't know who DRP is, but DRP signed this one. Defiant Cathar signed this one.
Yeah.
Hobbs, this is an artist proof from Hobbs,
Oh, cool.
from Dragons of
Nice.
Tarkir, signed by
Pretty
the
sure
artist.
Hobbs. Pretty sure I have a artist proof for Hobbs somewhere that I gotta do a
Yeah.
commission.
That's Randy Gallegos who did the artwork, so he signed that other one. That's most of Playing
Love
with
Randy.
Power. That I forget who did it.
Because Playing with Power, they're in Ohio or were in Ohio, right?
They're in Ohio still.
Okay. Because I remember us talking about that when you were on Creative's Commander Night.
Yeah, they're cool.
And then, yeah.
I don't know who signed. Oh, my friend Luder signed this Pacifism. That's foil 7. That's foil. I don't know who signed that one. That's Seth Arar, who's a judge, who's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's the Spike Feeders.
So when it comes to pacifism, what was the catalyst? Like, was this like a card that you ran into when you were like first starting to play? Was it a card that like saved your ass in a game and you're like, yes, this is it?
And both. So I
Yeah.
started playing around Dragons of Tarkir, Fate Reforged,
Mm-hmm.
and I had this really shitty Black-White Warriors deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got a few games in with it, but like, I never really won any nights, but I had some fun with it.
Yeah.
And Pacifism was printed in Dragons of Tarkir, and I thought the flavor text was funny,
Yeah.
but I also thought the card was really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's good in limited, it's good in cube,
Yeah.
but like actual standard, not that good.
Yeah.
But like it felt so good pacifying my opponent's huge beaters, and like
Oh,
your
yeah.
beater can't do anything now.
Yep.
And then Battle for Zendikar came next, and they'd play these Haymaker Eldrazi's, and I'd pacify the Eldrazi's and go in with my Black-White Warriors or my Black-White Allies.
Hell yeah. Nice.
And my camera's bugging out. But it just felt really cool. And then
Mm-hmm.
in playing more Magic and like playing limited, learning how to play cube,
Mm-hmm.
Pacifism is just a card where like if it's in a set, the set's probably a good set.
Nice. I do like that kind of like, okay, if this is in a set, I'm gonna like it. Like,
Not always. There are a few mistakes here and there.